All right, let's kick off today with a segment I'm calling Finish the Sentence. And you guys know I'm adding some new segments to the show and whatnot, so I'm not going to try to overwhelm you guys a ton. There'll be some that are just unnamed. It is what it is. But this one really came to mind this past Friday night when some friends and I were out celebrating another friend's birthday at one of the newer whiskey spots that's open. It happens to be a cigar bar as well in Sarasota. This place also has a location in Tampa, so we're familiar with it. We know the general manager. And so obviously we knew there'd be a few bugs. It's only been open a week and it is what it is. But they have a wonderful selection of whiskey. And of course, those that enjoyed cigars had a wonderful selection of cigars. So it was a very fun night regardless because we're there for a friend. And whenever you're out socially, even if it's not your cup of tea, you know, you always tend to enjoy it just because you're with buddies and you know, couples and people that you know and things like that. But that really got my mind going, in all honesty, as to we all have a certain universe of places around us that have whiskey selections. So you're kind of limited in a certain respect. But most everyone that lives, you know, in a decently populated area has a few choices at minimum where they could choose to go and drink whiskey. So with that said, it got me wondering, what is the one thing that maybe you weigh out when it comes to, you know, where it is you enjoy drinking whiskey? Or maybe said a different way, I'm most attracted to whiskey bars that. And then that has a nice blank line behind it, right? So when I stop and think about it, there's a kind of a myriad of places here in Tampa, St. Pete, Sarasota, right? We have the high-end bourbon bar. We have that's really a bourbon bar with or without food. We have both options. We have the kind of lower end, you know, food establishments that have a decent whiskey selection, barbecue places, things of that nature, which is one of my favorites, by the way. And we kind of have everything in between. As I just mentioned, we have a cigar bar that's has a wonderful bourbon selection as well. So you kind of have any number of other side treatments. You also have those places that are very cocktail focused that happen to have, you know, a ton of good whiskey because obviously those two go hand in hand. But there's a lot of things that are kind of just factors in that. So I don't want to necessarily pin it down to like one style of restaurant, if you will. I wanted to get a little deeper in that. So I'm going to post a poll up on YouTube immediately following the posting of this video. And you're going to see in that statement that I made just a minute ago. I'm most attracted to whiskey bars that. And I'm going to list a number of options below that poll. I'll also have an other in case your option's not there. But those options will be something like the selection is wide, you know, the widest selection available, if you will. The selection of allocated is really big and available. There's a lot of barrel picks. Maybe the place does a lot of barrel picks and so has a lot of unique product. Great food. Maybe you are going out and it's a night out, a dinner out for you, or whatever the case is. Maybe the place has great events. And so when you go, there's tasting events, they have distillery reps, they always have things that are new to you and you can learn something. Could also just simply come down to price because in all honesty, it's a reality for most of us, probably all of us, but at some point it's a reality for at least most of us. So I really want you guys to go ahead and answer that. Again, there'll be an other at the bottom as well where you could type a comment underneath the poll if your particular, what is it that attracts you to a bourbon establishment, you know, isn't quite there, a whiskey establishment, if you will. I'd really love to have your participation in this because I'm really interested in this topic and seeing where everyone in terms of my viewership, my audience feels about this. We'll recap the results in a future episode, probably in the intro segment, so it doesn't creep into one of the other segments. You guys don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But I'll tell you how I feel once all the results are in because I don't want to jade your vote here. I can't thank you guys enough for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this content. I'm going to link some other content above. And until next time, cheers.